Hey everybody, how's it going today? Hopefully where you are, it is warmer than it is here. Anyway, in today's video, I need your help. I need the viewers' help because I have an issue that I really don't have any experience with, and that is full face helmets. Now, I've been riding Harleys for just over 20 years, but full face helmets are something I've never really had much to do with, at least not on bikes. I have wore them before back in the day, but that was when I was actually snowmobiling or skidooing, sledding, whatever you want to call it. That was the only time I really ever wore them, and to be honest, the reason I wore them was because it was cold out. If I could have got away without wearing one, I probably would have. But when I started riding, full face helmets on Harley riders, anyway, around here, you just didn't see it. Full face helmets were mostly for the sport bike people. And it looked strange back in the day. Now, obviously, it's gotten more common. You're used to seeing them more. And I'm starting to lean more towards maybe getting one, and that's where you guys come in. Now, back in the day when I first started riding, this was the helmet I used, and it was pretty big, but this was the size of helmet that was probably the smaller of the legal helmets at that time. Wore that for several years, and then ended up going to this little guy, the little beanie helmet. Obviously a lot smaller, a lot lighter, obviously not legal, at least around here, and I wore this for quite a few years, up until about a few years ago. At that time, I went and I got this guy, which is it's about the middle of the other two. It's not too big, it's not too small, but it is legal, and it's definitely safer than the little beanie. Now, having said that, I have to think about the pros and cons, and I've kind of been going over it in my head. The reason I started wearing the half helmets in the first place was, like I mentioned before, it was basically a style thing. No one was wearing full face helmets that I was with anyway. So that's where it started. Now, more common, it's not a big deal to me anymore. Another reason is vision. I've always been of the opinion that I have better vision with a half helmet. Anytime I wore full face helmets when I was sledding anyway, I always felt like it was kind of like looking out of a box. I didn't have the peripheral vision I had, always looking down, up, side to side. It didn't give me the same range of vision I had, and I always worried about that. Another one is sound. I like to hear what's going on around me. I also like the sound of my bike quite a bit. But especially in the city, I like having all my senses there. I don't want anything obstructing my hearing, which was another reason why I stayed with the half helmet. Another reason would be ventilation. On a hot day, I don't want to sweat like a crack whore in a full face helmet. At least with the half helmet, I've got that breeze on my face. It's not as hot. Now, having said those things, you know, I also have to look at the pros of having a full face, and the first one is obviously safety. I'll put up a chart right now, and it'll show the main impact areas when you're in an accident. As you can see, it appears that the biggest impact area is the jaw, and I would prefer to keep mine and my teeth. They're not perfect, but they're all I got. So obviously safety is a huge one. Also, face protection. You know, when coming from a guy who's been hit as many times in the face with gravel, rocks, bugs, you'd think by now I would have learned to get a full face helmet, but that's another pro. Now, As far as the hearing goes, I'm sure there's helmets out there that don't dampen your hearing that much. And if I'm being really honest, just this last year, my left ear here, I don't have any hearing problems, really issues with it, other than it has been bothering me some when I'm riding on the highway. The wind, it feels like somebody's blowing an air gun directly into it. So I kind of started wearing a bandana that I could pull down over my ears a bit. And a full face helmet would take care of that issue. Also, some of these helmets, you know, they're Bluetooth capable. I have to admit, even though I like hearing the bike and everything around me, when I'm on a longer ride on the highway, I got to admit it wouldn't be too bad to hear the radio or have some music on some of those rides. So that's a plus in that column. If we're talking ventilation that I talked about before, yeah, it's going to be hotter on a hot day, but in Saskatchewan here, the first couple months you're riding, April into May, it's pretty cool. And you know, having a full face helmet is going to keep you a lot warmer, because if I'm riding in those conditions, I'm going to have something covering my face to begin with. So again, full face helmet, there's a plus in that column. And I have to admit that the pros outweigh the cons, which is why I'm moving towards that full face helmet idea. And this is where you guys come in. I want your opinion. Should I get a helmet? Do any of you guys wear the full face helmet? And how do you feel about it? Or am I just being, you know, completely stupid and unsafe by not wearing one in the first place? So leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. Another issue is there are so many manufacturers and different types out there. It's quite frankly overwhelming to just look at pages and pages and pages of different helmets. You've got your full face solid, modular, 3-in-1, Bluetooth capable, all these different types. If you're gonna say, yeah, you should get one, well, let me know what you're using. What should I get? What manufacturer should I get? Should I get one that's, you know, got Bluetooth in it? Let me know, because quite frankly, I need your help on it. I'm not that experienced with it. I'm not afraid to say it. It's one area that I just have not had much to do with at all. So please let me know your thoughts, leave them in the comments, and that's gonna definitely sway my decision one way or the other. Really, that's all it is for today. Now, for those of you wondering what's going on with the 2023 Lowrider S I bought, I don't really have an update. I haven't heard from the dealership for about a week and a half. In another couple of days, it'll have been 4 weeks. They told me 2 to 4 weeks. We're going to be at 4. If I haven't heard from them in the next couple of days, I'm going to get a hold of them and find out what's going on. So hopefully I'll have an update on that at some point. But until now, let me know what you think about the helmet situation, and we'll catch you in the next one.